On this, that many, and it was apparent, and Jared mentioned about the by-elections, that it's apparent that many younger Kenyans did not see or feel the necessity to be part of that electoral process because probably they feel the election or the results are already predetermined. This lethargy and this disillusionment in the electoral process cuts across not just Kenya, even our neighbors in Tanzania and Uganda. If you talk to many young people, they say, it's a waste of time. The election is already predetermined. This appears to be an issue in Kenya as well, and hence probably the reason why many people are not really interested in registering as voters. Do you think the silence is because of this kind of disillusionment?
First of all, allow me to say thank you for giving me a chance to come back here after very many months of being away. I have been away from media, and this is a nice opportunity to come back and engage with the young people. And just before I can even begin, I'd like to, first of all, just attack a bit my brother here from ODM. I wonder what he's still hoping the government to do if 1 year, 2 years down the line, since 2024, nothing much has been done. I mean, the young people spoke very clearly, and whatever grievances the young people had, they highlighted them clearly. To date, nothing has been done. Forget about even just the highlights of what the young people are talking about. Even the fact that the young people who are affected have never been taken care of to date is a problem in itself. And the fact that we still have corruption ongoing, the fact that we still have punitive policies still being implemented by the government is a sign that this government that these people are supporting and are now joining will never do anything about this issue. So let's just be real with ourselves. There's nothing that ODM is expecting to get from government that it should have already gotten by now. Now, going to your opinion about, the question about whether young people are feeling as if they are there's this lethargy amongst the young people. The truth of the matter is that it is there. But the question to the young people is this, that are we going to allow ourselves to think about electoral processes not working for us, or are we going to allow ourselves to have faith in the fact that if we turn out in numbers, things can actually work and change? Remember during Moi's time, that was the same message during Moi's time. For years and years on end, people would go to elections and tell themselves that, you know what, no matter how much we vote, our votes will not count. But eventually, at some point, the votes counted, and Moi went. Regimes have been turned around across African countries, and even globally, where people are saying that this person can never go, but they went. So I think it's about trusting the process. And the government, by the way, or the systems, by the way, they normally capitalize on young people who say that things will never change. They know that the majority of you guys are not expecting any change, and therefore, that gives them the leeway to even manipulate the elections, because they know that you already do not have faith in the electoral process itself.
Because the challenge has always been that they say that this new generation, especially the Gen Zs, they are very impatient, and waiting for a 5-year electoral cycle for them is a bit too long. You talk about the tenacity and the patience that younger Kenyans had back in the day, the fight for multi-party, that they could go election after election knowing that probably the election has been manipulated, but they will still go back, and eventually after decades, the votes counted. Do you think this particular generation of young Kenyans can wait for decades for their votes to count?
In my opinion, even those past generations, they had the same opinions that we have today. They also never thought that things would change until a candidate who presented hope to them came about, Kibaki. And then they saw that, you know what, we can actually rally behind this person, and there's hope that things can change. So I think what will take the young people to get out of their beds on election day is having candidates, and not just for presidential only, but even for gubernatorial candidates who come out and clearly have an agenda for them to wake up, and an agenda worth voting for. It's just like your day-to-day normal operations as a human being. If you're going for a meeting where you know that there's no value for you, either financially, socially, or economically, or even psychologically, you will not have the motivation to go for that meeting. Okay. But if you go knowing that at the end of this meeting, I'm going to get some money, you will wake up very early in the morning, put on your suit, and leave the house. So I think also, it's upon also the people who are presenting themselves up for elections to be the right people for us to vote for. So I think it cuts across both ways. The young people who are worried that the system will not change, and the people who are presenting themselves up for elections. But also the young people have a problem. Sometimes you find that the right people present themselves up for elections, but we have this superficial idea of who a right presidential candidate should be. Right now we have so many who have presented themselves. We have Matiang'i, we have Ruto himself, we have Okiya Mtata, we have my party leader, Eugene Wamalwa, we have, who else is on the list, Kalonzo Musyoka. Out of all these people who have presented themselves, we have a good candidate. But I don't know why we want these theatrical candidates for us to get up and say, we're going to vote. I have a problem that at least once a week I have a conversation with young people and I ask them, who are you going to vote for? Do you think this regime, we can change it? And they will tell you the same thing, that, you know what, sioni kama Ruto anaweza enda. But my question is this: if you don't vote against him, or if you don't vote for somebody else who you think is a better candidate, how will he go? Because if all of you are saying, if we vote for Ruto, I mean, whether we vote or not, he will not go, then what about if we all say, if we all vote against him, if we don't want him, that is?
Yes.
If we all vote against him, won't he go?
All right.
The answer is yes.
And is that a general perception? Because they